This man, every time he buys a new painting, he would first spend a week eating and sleeping with it to build a connection, then reluctantly place it in the secret room, where he keeps his collection of paintings. He is a top auctioneer with an extreme obsession with cleanliness. Before each auction he changes into a brand new pair of gloves. If he sees a piece he likes at the auction, a single glance is all it takes. His partner would flawlessly coordinate with him, buying priceless paintings at a fraction of their value. Afterward his partner would deliver the purchased paintings to Jason. In his free time Jason also helps clients appraise antiques at their homes. He could tell just by sniffing the black wooden board in his hand that it was a priceless painting. After cleaning it up a bit back at home he could put it up for auction and sell it for $10 million. One day after the auction ended Jason received a strange phone call. The caller claimed they needed Jason to come to their house to appraise the antiques in the entire house. But as a top auctioneer and appraiser, Jason's schedule had already been booked for the next month. Jason made up an excuse saying he would send an assistant instead, but the client insisted that only Jason himself should come to the villa for the appraisal, and said their father had insisted before passing away that only Jason himself could come. Reluctantly Jason cleared some time from his rest and went to the villa, but strangely it had been 20 minutes past the scheduled time, and the client still hadn't shown up. To make matters worse it started raining. Jason angrily returned to the office. As a top auctioneer Jason had never been treated with such disregard. He held back his anger and began working, but just a few minutes later, his assistant told him the client had called again. Still angry Jason told the assistant to tell the client to get lost, but the assistant said it sounded like the client was crying. Jason replied that it was the client's own fault, but the assistant added that the client had been hit by a car on the way to the meeting. Reluctantly Jason agreed to let the assistant call the client back. As soon as the call connected the client was crying, and begging Jason to forgive them for missing the appointment. This time when Jason arrived at the villa a butler appeared to greet him. Jason heard that the client still wouldn't be showing up and was about to leave, but the butler quickly stepped forward and told Jason that the client had specifically instructed him to only guide Jason and that the villa's contents were all for Jason to handle as he saw fit. Jason checked several rooms but couldn't find anything of high value, but when he got to the basement he discovered a strange gear. He secretly hid it while the butler wasn't paying attention. After leaving the villa he gave the gear to a mechanical expert for study. To his surprise, after cleaning the gear they found it had the signature of a mechanical master from the last century, the same master whose work Jason had written about when he graduated from university. He never expected to find that master's work in an abandoned villa. If he could find the other parts of this gear, its value would surpass the worth of all the paintings in Jason's secret room.